I want to thank you all for coming out today. We usually don't have these kind of sessions, but given the fact that we've had quite a bit of inquiry from you about the fatality, a lot of inquiry about our shooting. By the way, there are 4 cases we will speak in. We're going to take an advantage of the time today to speak about today. So I'm asking you not to mix cases. So in other words, this is one case down here, another case up here. For your video or photograph images, whatever you have to do, just know that these are 4 different cases we'll speak to today. Our first case that we'll try to fill in the information void for you today has to do with the fatality accident that came to us on Saturday night, that is Sunday morning hours, at about 2:50 in the morning on the 2300 block of West Expressway 83. In that accident, we have had one person die. That person's name is Hector Izaguirre. He is 26 years of age. He is from Pharr, Texas. Currently we have one person in custody that we will be charging with regard to that fatality, and that person's name is Marcelo Guerrero. He is 31 years of age and also of Pharr, Texas. Now, this is the person that we will be charging with regard to the fatality. This is the vehicle that he was operating in, whereby the victim was ejected and therefore died as a result of injuries there too. Now, at the onset, we were not quite sure what caused the accident. We now have determined that a second vehicle was involved. That vehicle is a 2007 GMC Denali. It's this vehicle pictured right here. And the operator of that vehicle has stepped forward and indicated to us that they were present at the time of the collision, that they were part of the collision, but also that they are familiar with the operator and the owners of the vehicle, that is the Hummer that was involved over here. So to put this in a summary, these people right here know the people, owners and operators of the Hummer, number one. Number two, there is some information that these people over here have been complainants in a criminal matter against the owners of this particular vehicle over here in another city. Now, we won't go into what complaint that is, and we won't identify the people with regard to this vehicle. We've gone through great lengths to not show the vehicle or any parts of the vehicle here that would identify the vehicle, because this is a piece of information that's still under investigation. It's possible that at the end of all this, we may be able to determine whether or not we're going to charge these folks as well with regard to the fatality. So bottom line is this: incident on the expressway, 2 vehicles involved. They appear to be passing each other at a high rate of speed at one point. This vehicle and this vehicle make contact. We're not sure if one was ramming the other, but nonetheless, that contact resulted in this particular vehicle losing control. The passenger in that vehicle, the person we've described today, was ejected and died from those injuries. The history behind them is that these folks know each other, and there is a criminal complaint, apparently, history between them two, not necessarily in our city, in another city. And thirdly, we may or may not charge the people in this particular vehicle as well with regard to the fatality that occurred on Saturday morning. Okay, so that hopefully brings everybody up to speed. This person will be arraigned today. He's looking at possibly intoxication, manslaughter charges. He's got a suspended driver license. He may be looking at that. At least for starters, we believe that those will be the charges that this person right here will be facing in regard to this particular fatality. Our second case, this is a case involving anytime towing. In this particular case, we have arrested the operator of anytime towing. And that person is Benjamin Sosa. And this involves the unlawful towing of vehicles from private property when those property owners have, one, authorized it and have the correct notices posted. In this case, on this particular case involves one that occurred on October 27, 2012 in the 1900 block of Beaumont Street, where Anytime Towing towed a particular vehicle, and the property, upon our investigation, the property owner thereafter told us, one, he had not authorized Anytime Towing to do so. Number two, the signage that had been posted was falsely posted. That, in the end of the analysis, constituted theft. So we want to take this opportunity to let people know that these operators that keep hauling vehicles away in an unlawful manner may face vehicle theft charges. When you do that, you're actually taking someone's property away. And that, at the end of the day, constitutes theft. Now, furthermore, this particular operator, on October the 24th, reported a burglary of a building. We believe that that was somewhat designed to maybe report the loss of some documents that would be necessary later on to determine whether or not proper posting had happened. Seven vehicles were reported burglarized on his property. We now know from him that that was a false report altogether. So he is looking at theft with regard to the unlawful towing of that vehicle, and he's looking at false report for the false report associated with the burglary reports that came to us on the 24th. And his name is Benjamin Sosa, as you know, and the towing company in that particular case is Anytime Towing. Now, over here we have Sandra Gonzalez. Sandra Gonzalez, at about noon or so Friday, reported a robbery in the 700 block of South 10th Street, that essentially 7th and Houston. I know we had a couple of calls from some of y'all reporting or picking up on that particular robbery. It appeared like a parking lot purse snatching type of event. We've determined that that report was false, and that we have charged her with false report as well on that particular case. Now, the significance of this is that, one, is false report, but one of the things that we wanted to kind of mention today a little bit is that in McAllen, as you know, we have a series of cameras that were set up around basically the heart of the city. That video surveillance equipment has helped us in many, many different cases. In this particular case, it was very clear to us that what they were reporting at that location did not occur. And based upon that video evidence, we were able to confront them and were able to determine that the report was false and that there were other ulterior motives and reasons behind the report. We believe that they engaged in an illicit activity at the location, and thereafter chose to simply report a theft as opposed to, a robbery. That was a false report to us as well. And our video systems that we have in McAllen working for us were very much the reason why we were able to establish that without any question. I'm losing my voice here. And the last incident is our shooting incident, which happened at Metropolis. Let's get that real quick. This happened again, November 4th, which is Saturday night, Sunday morning, and it came in at about 2:49. One victim was shot in the arm, treated and released. We have 3 suspects that we're looking for in this particular case, and we're looking for a Nissan Sentra or something like a Nissan Sentra, white in color, and we're looking for a 4-door Chevrolet pickup truck, maroon in color, low to the ground, possibly some damage to the left side of the front quarter panel. And what we're showing you here basically is the back of the club where shots were fired at, and the location from where they were fired at. And basically, if you look at this particular incident, this is the back of the club. The suspects were in this little tunnel right in here and took shots at this particular establishment right at 3 o'clock in the morning. Ran this way, ran across over here, and we lost them in this particular area. So this is the layout of the particular crime scene associated with the shooting at Metropolis on Saturday night, Sunday morning. So with that, hopefully we're able to fill in all the information that you've been asking for on these particular cases. I'll take your questions. Go ahead.
About the McAllen incident, was there an argument that occurred inside of the bar? Was there a reason that it occurred at allocation?
There was an earlier disturbance in the club. We believe that the people that are involved in the shooting may have been or associated with the people that were involved in the disturbance earlier in the club, but we've not identified them as of yet.
Okay. And have you accessed like video surveillance from that area?
That's information we're working on, yes ma'am. Video, I mean, in this time and age, I mean, we hinted at video here. Video is instrumental in what we do, whether it's public or private. Very oftentimes it's by virtue of video that we're able to get leads, and with your help, when we don't get anywhere, we put it out, and sometimes we get leads off of that video. So yes, we're working in search. We do that in every case, just about.
Do you think, I mean, do you have any reason to believe that it may have been gang affiliated or anything like that?
We don't know enough about the suspects. We don't know that they were the same ones involved in the disturbance earlier, trying to get them out of there, and were actually moved out of there. We just don't know enough at this point in time to label it as such. Any other?
The shooting, was the handgun what was used?
It's a handgun, yes, sir.
In the false report of the robbery, do we know the motivation as to why they filed them?
Generally, we believe that they were, and this involves a pawning of some private property. We believe they were led to believe that, you know, here's a let's say a bar of gold, and it actually is brass, and it turned out to be not what they thought they were. And when they found out that at the pawn shop, then they cried foul and reported it as a robbery. So I'm kind of skirting around the actual facts of the case, but more or less that's what it is. So when they found out that they actually had been ripped off, to a sense, then she reported a robbery instead, and it turned out to be not the case. Any other questions? Okay, yes, sir. Anytime, Tom.
Was this gentleman, was he putting signs saying vehicles will be loaded and
Yeah.
the cars, or?
Yes, sir. And those signs were not, one, authorized by the property owner, and two, not in accordance with law requiring certain specifics about that sign. So the most important part is that the owner did not authorize him to operate on his property. So therefore, and over the years, you've seen some of these problems around the cities, and we have as well. So we're trying to seize the opportunity today to let people know that if they do this, we've already reached the determination that when they do this improperly, that it amounts to the stealing of a vehicle, and we will charge them as such.
And he was stealing them from Tamarack or from Beaumont?
No, the vehicle in question is out of the 1900 block of Beaumont.
Okay.
His business is on Tamarack.
And how many vehicles do you think he had stolen?
Right now we're
Only focusing on the one.
the charge involves one, and the charge involves the false reporting of burglary of vehicles and burglary of his business. And we think that one investigation drove to the false report, and we've charged him with both of those cases. Anybody else?
On the history of these guys, why were they coming into McAllen? I mean, do you know if they live in McAllen or they live elsewhere?
Well, we don't know they were coming into McAllen. They were going through McAllen. We know they're from Pharr, and we know that we know that he has an arrest history that's fairly lengthy. So what we've done here is showed you the second vehicle in a limited fashion, so that we don't, and I hope that you're reading through what I'm telling you here, but given the criminal complaints that they filed, we don't want to unnecessarily identify somebody in the process at this point.
And have all of these been arraigned, all of these people?
Let me see, one of them is pending arraignment. This person's been arraigned. This person is arraigned, this person is pending.
Will it be arraigned by tonight?
We're hoping that we can get it done this afternoon. Yes, ma'am.
Ok, Chief, ¿y lo podemos hacer en español?
Sí,
Pues
sí.
nada más nos preguntamos si
See, well, as soon as I get all the English done, we're gonna do French next, and then we'll do. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Any other questions? We're good. Okay. Gracias. Thank you very much. Okay. I hope we answered all your questions. I'm sorry we just thought this was the best way to kind of fill in all the information that a lot of you have been asking for on these cases. Okay. Thank you.